looks like I'm good. Alright, so... Okay, so I thought I would go over healing with you guys. So, it's kind of an important topic, I feel. Because healing is very important in this game. You're probably going to heal almost every combat encounter. I think almost every combat encounter, maybe like a couple, or just a few, I haven't healed at all. I'm talking about healing potions, healing spells, any sort of healing. So you're always going to need to do a little bit of healing at least. In some combats, it's like a ton of healing. Like you're healing, like every character is healing, or like half the characters every round they're healing. So I thought it was very important. Okay, so the first thing I recommend is like getting a lot of healing potions. So there's two types, at least what I have right now, what I have access to right now. I have two types. I have regular, which is these, just potions of healing. It's 2d4, so it's 4 to 10 hit points of healing, which can potentially be a lot. I mean, 10 hit points, even at my level, which is level 6, I think. It's a lot. It's a ton of hit points. Even 4 is good. I mean, any sort of hit points, you know, it's gaining you time, so your character doesn't go down, and then you have to go like, he's out of, then he can't contribute to the combat. You might have to go like spend an action to get him back up. But yeah, so we have healing, potion of healing, which is always good. And then you have greater healing, which is 8 to 20, which is also really, really good. So, I would stock up on these, and my recommendation is get as many as you can afford, at least initially, like at the very start of the game, at low levels. I don't think you can afford too many, but very quickly you're able to. Once you start crewing stuff and selling stuff and getting wealth, you're going to be able to buy tons of healing potions. But you want to get as many as you can afford, and then later on as many as possible, as many as they have in stock. You just buy out. You just want to buy out the sellers, basically, because you know it's very useful because it's a bonus action. That's the key. It's a bonus. You have like two types of actions in this game. You have regular actions, and you have bonus action. So regular action is all the important stuff. So it's like an attack that would be like an additional movement. So if you dash, that's you move, and then you can do your movement again. That's if you give up an action. You know, the action is where you do all the important stuff. So you want to use those. Be very careful with those. Like use them to your best ability. Like, but bonus actions they cover a lot of bonus things. So, attacking with an offhand weapon, drinking a potion. So these are things that aren't critical, but they're kind of helpful often, or in certain situations, they're really helpful. So a lot of times you're going to be left with a bonus action, trying to figure out what to do with that bonus action. Just drink a potion of healing, even if like let's see who. Okay, let's say like Shadowheart, she's at 27 hit points, which is not too bad. It's a lot. I mean, it's some hit points down, but it's not a whole lot, you know. But if she has an extra bonus action, she would just down a potion of healing, and then you know get her back up to like 30 or 35 or something like that. You know, and it's just a bonus action, so it's great. And it's the same thing with greater healing. And here you're healing like 8 to 20 hit points, so that's a ton. So you can bring you back from like near death to like you're back in it. You can absorb more attacks and everything. So that's why I would stock up on healing potions. Just buy as many as you can. You can also like start creating them yourself. I've made a few. I haven't really gone into the alchemy too much in the game yet, but I have made a few healing potions, and they're one of the earliest. I think the earliest. You get access to like potions of healing, like the ability to make them pretty quickly in the game. So pretty early on in the game. So you can make it that way. Gather ingredients and kind of make healing potions that way. So that's number one. Number two is healing spells. Okay, so spells. Like, what spells should you have? There's tons of different spells. You have Healing Word. You have Cure Wounds. I think there's like Shadow Heart. She has.
My faith will guide me.
Let's see. She has like she has tons of spells. So like where is it? Like Prayer of Healing, that'll heal. You know, all the allies you can see, give them 5 to 19 healing. But that's used outside of combat. Let's see, what else do they have? They have, there's other stuff like Aid that can boost your max hit points. And then I think, like, if you have a paladin, I think, what's her name? Minthara, the Drow. I think you can get her as an NPC. She's a paladin, I think. She might have Lay on Hands. I'm not sure about all that. Like, I haven't really had her as an NPC, but I think, like, paladins have Lay on Hands, which is another, in part, it cures. It can restore hit points. It can cure wounds, basically. The other thing it can do is restore, remove, like, disease and I think poison and stuff like that. But the ones that you're probably going to be faced with, like, choosing, is Healing Word, Cure Wounds. Those are the main ones. Between those two, the best by far is Healing Word. And Healing Word is the best because, let's take a look at it. So, it's 4 to 7 healing, which is not a lot. It's not a lot. It's less than even like might be less than like a healing potion. So, but the great thing about Healing Word is it's a bonus action. So we already talked about how bonus actions are really good. Like, anything that's a bonus action is really good. If it's an action, now you have to think, like, do I really want to use this because I could do something else with that action? So then you have to kind of weigh it. Whereas with the bonus action, you're like, okay, why not? Because bonus actions kind of feel like bonuses. Healing Word is a bonus action, plus it's range, so it has 18 meters. So realistically, like, you're going to be in range of most of your party members. There's some situations where, like in this last combat, they had the enemies had like teleport. They were teleporting me all around the map to all these different places, so my party got completely split apart. But typically, you're going to be able to heal. You're going to be in range of healing. Now, Cure Wounds. So let's look at Cure Wounds. Cure Wounds is better than Healing Word in that you're probably going to heal more. You're going to get more healing out of it. It's a 1d8 plus 3, so the curve is, I think it's like, Healing Word is, let's take a look. Oh, it's plus 3. Okay, they're both, never mind that. Anyway, so Cure Wounds are going to heal more, but the problem with Cure Wounds is that you have to be right next to someone to do it, which is not too bad, because a lot of times, especially if Cure Wounds is being used with your like dedicated healer or support character who is there to kind of boost the other players or heal them, then it's not too much to like run up to a player and like Cure Wounds, especially if you're giving them a lot of hit points with the Cure Wounds. However, the problem with Cure Wounds is you have to give up an action, so you're not attacking, you're not doing anything, you can't dash, so you probably don't want to, or if you have the choice between Healing Word and Cure Wounds, I take Healing Word. Now, the classes that have access to Healing Word are bards, clerics, and paladins, or not paladins, sorry, bards, clerics, and druids. Those three. So out of those, so I have two of those classes. I have my main character, my PC, Robert, who is a bard. He has healing word. I have Shadowheart, who is a cleric. She has healing word. So she has healing word. There are, you can get at least, I know, probably one druid character, possibly two. I think Jaheira might be a druid. I'm not sure. I never had her as a party member, and she was, when I did have her, like fighting with me, not as a party member, but as a NPC ally. She was, what do you call it? Not polymorphing, but like she was changing into like beasts and like animals and stuff to fight. So I think she's a druid. And then Halsin is a druid as well. I'm pretty sure he's a druid. So you have two druids that you could have in your party. So you have at least four that have access to healing word throughout the game. Or sorry, you have at least three that have healing word throughout the game. Shadowheart, Halsin, and Jaheira. And there might be other ones. There might be a bard. I'm not really sure. I don't know all the NPCs. There might be other clerics and stuff like that. Or if your PC is a cleric, bard, or druid, then you have another character that has access to healing word. So, you want at least one character that has some healing in the form of like spells or abilities. And you want to give... They should have healing word. Healing word's the best. So that's not too hard to come by. At least one. Ideally, you would have two because you could do... if one's, down or like occupied or can't use, needs their bonus action for something else, then you have the other character to heal whoever needs healing. Or if it, depending on the turn order, if you need that healing work right away, because someone's going to go down if they don't get healing word, then you can do it with the character closest in turn order or initiative order to that character. So ideally you would have two characters with healing word. And I don't think it's too hard to get two characters who have healing word. So that's what I'll say about the spells. What else did another thing you can do is you get items throughout the game, and I know I have two items that are really useful if you don't have like a lot of characters or any characters that can cast healing word or many healing spells. Let's see, I think okay, so Amulet of Restoration. So if you don't have a character that can cast these healing spells, it gives you the ability to cast healing word and mass healing word right there. Mass healing word is, that's another spell that's useful. I'd say it's not quite as useful as healing word because it's a level 3. So at level 3, there's other spells that you're going to be, giving up to cast it. So I would only use, so mass healing word is just healing word, but you can basically, let me see if we can. You can basically, you can heal up to 6 allies. So it's basically 6 times healing word, potentially. Or you can heal all the allies in your party, basically. So really, again, I'm saying, so again, like, mass healing word is good, but you only want to, I would recommend only using it if you really need it. So that's if, like, you're in a bad situation, like your party is about to get totally wiped. It's a good way to kind of boost everyone's healing, so at least maybe a couple survive the next round, and then you can start gaining momentum back and like doing stuff. So I would reserve it for those situations where you really need it, meaning like everyone is down by a lot, and where things are turning pretty bad, and you kind of need it. If it's at the beginning of a combat and and everyone suffered some damage, but just not a lot of damage, they're above half. There's other spells that you could do to like eliminate the threat, destroy the enemy, or negate the enemy's abilities and stuff. Okay, so that's an example of like an item you can get that will help you if you don't have a lot of characters with healing. But you have to kind of find these in the game. I won't tell you where to find this one, just for a surprise so that you can find it yourself. But you can look out for it. And then there's other ones that kind of boost, existing healing abilities, like Wapira's Crown, Herbalist Gloves. Boots of Aid and Comfort. All these are good for healers. So that's it. That's healing in Baldur's Gate 3. It's just a little tip. I think healing's pretty useful, so it'll help your party survive. And like I said, you'll be healing in almost every combat, at least a little bit. You're gonna be healing. So.